So let's get into email marketing one-on-one. So here's what most people think happens when an email is sent. They think when you press send on an email provider, wherever you're sending emails from, people think that once you do that, it automatically reaches the inbox. In a perfect world scenario, that is how it works, but we all know we don't live in a perfect world. So how does email marketing actually work? It's actually a little bit more complex than most people think. So here's what actually happens. So when an email is sent, it goes through a process with filters. There's different filters. There's a filtration process. And what we have is ESPs. That stands for email service providers, okay? And some of those, as an example, are your GetResponse, your Constant Contact, Aweber. And then there's ISPs, Internet Service Providers, that provide access to the web and have additional services such as a Gmail or Yahoo. So each one of these services, they have their own algorithms as to what messages are blocked, which messages don't even send, and which messages reach the inbox. So in a very simplistic view, there's filters. So if they pass to filter one, depending on the message and how it is, there's a lot of factors we'll get into as to why it's not sent. Some messages will not even send, right? And they'll automatically be blocked. If it passes through to filter two, then now there's two things that can happen. The message can actually make the inbox, or the message will actually send, but it reaches spam, which we all know if a message reaches spam, no one is seeing that, and it's just as good as the message not making it or being sent at all because no one reads their spam. So this is how email marketing works in a very simplistic view. And a more accurate visual here is you have sender, you have the receiver. It goes through different protocols such as they look at the IP, the ISPs look at the IP, and we'll go over what those definitions mean. And then these algorithms take effect. They can either reject the message, accept the message, tag the message, goes into spam, or reaches the inbox. So this is a more complex view of what actually happens. Now, you send an email, which is the sender. It's received by an ISP, which is the receiver, who then decides if your email looks legitimate. Again, each of these ISPs, they have their own algorithm. Gmail has an algorithm that's different than Yahoo, and Yahoo's an algorithm that's different than Hotmail, but the reasoning behind why some emails go to spam or don't even send is similar, okay? And we'll go over those. If the ISP is using a blacklist, the email IP address is checked against the list. It then goes through the spam filters of the ISP to check for anything that they don't allow. This is their mechanism for filtering. If the email passes these tests, then it's sent to the inbox, right? Congratulations. So why do messages not send? Well, filters. Filters allow your message to either make it to the inbox or make it to spam, okay? Or completely get blocked, as we just went over in the visual. Filters check to ensure that you are who you claim to be, and each ESP is protected, right, by email filters, and they are all different and have different algorithms. The exact same message it can reach an inbox in Hotmail, but may hit the spam in Gmail, right, for the algorithm changes. So what causes emails to go to spam? Well, domain reputation may be bad. We'll cover what that means in a moment. Is the content spam related, right? People are not opening messages, which is huge because email now is behavioral. That's what a lot of these email service providers check for. What we mean by that is if you're sending emails to people and they're not opening them, then guess what happens? The algorithm says this probably isn't a good message, so we shouldn't keep delivering this. Because when you think about it, I want you to think of email similar to how Facebook ads work or any type of most ad platforms work when it's not an auction. Every ad cannot be shown. So based on engagement, based on the highest bidder, based on those behavioral stats and metrics, the better it performs, that dictates the ad being shown. So similar in this regard, because the reality is, it's been said, the latest stat I've seen is that over 85% of emails are spam. So it's not just that it's bad that emails are not being delivered to people. It's actually a good thing that that algorithms like this are in place to make sure you don't have a ton of crap, for better words, in your inbox. So they look at engagement, or you could be blacklisted as to why it's going to spam as well. So what is a blacklist? Well, a list that identifies IP addresses or domains that are known to send spam. Okay? These lists are created to prevent spam from coming into their systems, Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail. More than 85% of messages are spam, so it's actually useful to ensure bad emails are not sent, as we just talked about. And a lot of spam complaints and bad emails is all it takes for an IP address to be added to a blacklist. That's why, if you ever heard of some of the doom and gloom stories where people have had Aweber or different ESP for years and all of a sudden they're kicked off, is because these ESPs and the IP addresses, which is like a physical address, like they're like gold to some of these email service providers, and they have to maintain the integrity of these because they're shared across the platform for other users. And if there's anything that looks fishy, that's why a lot of times you see people are gone, right?